You are listening to the Cigar Noise Boys. Bob Marley, poet and a prophet. Bob Marley taught me how to off it. Bob Marley walking like he talk it. Goodness me, can't you see I'm gonna cough it?
Sounds like Migos, but I don't know that. I don't think that's them, but it sounds like how they fucking rap.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a rap song, so I'm out.
No, wrong genre.
Oh, give
Really?
us a genre.
Rock.
Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah.
No idea.
Give it away, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh my God.
Oh, come on, Ben.
I feel ashamed right now. I really do.
Hey, no, some of these songs I'll be looking up, and I know the main lyrics or whatever, but you get to like those third verses, and who knows? Especially when they're saying fast. What's up, everybody? Cigar Noise Boys, back again. This time joined by Ben Lee. Welcome, Ben Lee of Cigar Coop now. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
If you guys have, real quick, if you haven't listened to it, Ben was on last Thursday, like a media roundtable with Coop, and Aaron Loomis is the co-host, and then Bear came on, and then the guys from How About That Cigar. It was like 4 hours. I listened to the whole thing. So
Yeah,
it was a
it was a long
podcast.
show.
Yeah.
And when you say last Thursday, probably 2 Thursdays ago, I think we're going to post this July 4th weekend. Or at least that's the plan.
And do you want to tell them why?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, Ben. We're we're posting yours in a little over a week because our 69th episode we're actually doing with Nate, the Foundation.
Oh, cool.
And Hot Mike of Maximar Small
Nice.
Batch.
So
That's good.
I guess
Yeah,
they really like 69. I guess I don't know what the deal is.
That's fine. Nate's a good buddy of mine, so that's good.
Nice. Are you guys doing anything for Independence Day? Any plans?
I don't have anything planned at the moment. Not yet, anyway.
Tyler?
What about you, Tyler?
I work. I'll work in the morning, and then nothing. I usually try to smoke a firecracker or two. I think I got a few of the Mi Queridas. I got some of the Roma Craft firecrackers. I got the Irish car bombs, and I think I might have a Perdomo lying around. But hopefully I can get the Foundation one. That's shipping this week. The Wise Man Maduro firecracker.
Yeah, I got a few of the firecrackers. I'll probably smoke those and some old M80s, probably. Yeah, probably some of those. See if I got a VI TNT laying around too, maybe.
Yeah, those are getting shipped. I think they got shipped today. We just got the cigar shop I work at. I have one more shift there, Lake Country Cigars. I got the invoice in my email, and they're sending us one crate, or 2 crates, 2 different blends. One's a collector edition. So I got the invoice right here. So we got a TNT 6.5 by 56. And then we have C4 collector's edition, 5.5 by 58. So C4 and TNT. So I'll smoke those on July 4th. I think they're fun cigars, man. Any kind of 4th of July theme, I think is fun. But
Yeah, I've liked both of those blends in the past. So those seem like chunky cigars though, man. So
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of large ring gauge, but they've always been pretty good.
somebody gave me a Roman candle, which was like a A size. It was too big.
Yeah, they're
Rich
massive.
gave it to me. Yeah, Mukal Rich gave me one.
Yeah, that's the ones was wrapped in the red paper, wasn't it? Back in the day. Yeah, I had several. I might still have some of this actually.
And then I had a Viaje thought, and I just I forgot it. To do with firework. The either the TNT or the C4. One year it came out of PDR's factory, and it fucking sucked.
Yeah.
All those any of those cigars when Viaje was making them out of PDR, they weren't very good.
No.
Did you guys read that Half Wheel review of the PDR?
I think I did.
So Ben, they rated it a 50.
Wow.
And
Ouch.
I think Charlie had mentioned it at Weasel Fest that there was a review coming up that there was something wrong with the cigar, and they were debating like posting it. So they ended up taking down the review, and then because Abe Flores messaged them and said that they sent them the wrong samples or something, which doesn't fucking make sense. But they had a new headline talking about that review, and then beneath it they had the review, so you can still go and read it. But I guess they were having problems like with it burning, all three of them, and then there was a difference in the foot band, the foot sleeve.
Yeah.
But you couldn't tell. Like, it's when I read it as PDR fucked up. Now they're trying to figure out something to get this review taken down because the cigar is garbage, you know. Which kind of brings me to my one of my topics I have. Are there any cigars brands you guys won't smoke due to something personal you have with the company or anything like that? Or a company that's burned you in the past, or maybe like their cigars, maybe you've had bad luck with them. Like I'll go first just to give you like my example. So one brand, and I'm kind of torn with it. One brand I refuse to ever buy a cigar from is Mumbacho. And I think I might have talked about this a few times, but I've just heard so many stories about them burning everyone they fucking deal with, which I'm not going to get any examples, but they've pretty much burned everybody. But they just fucking hired Indiana Ortez. And I'm a big fan of her. So now I'm like torn. I'm like, do I keep up my not supporting Mumbacho, but it's like Indiana works there and she's awesome. Like maybe like I'm torn. Like it's a dilemma now.
No, I'd have to try that. I mean, she's awesome. She's a great blender. So I would definitely have to try something she came up with. So I would have to smoke it for sure. She's so cool, man. I like her a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, Tyler, I think if she's there for a year at least, probably means things are changing for the better. Give them a shot. Yeah. I almost wore my Mumbacho hat today.
Good. Yeah, that's what made me kind of think of it. You've been wearing a lot of Mumbacho swag, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? They invite you to one media party, and they got fan for life.
That was the first thing I'd ever gone to, cigar media-wise. It was special. I didn't belong.
Have you been to one of those, Ben? The Mumbacho parties?
Yeah, at the trade show. Yeah, with the Diplomatico one.
Yeah, were you there 4 years ago when it was at the residence with the pool?
I don't think so. I don't remember that.
Okay. Never mind. That's one that I went to. And I didn't go to the trade show. I just went to Vegas for the Mumbacho media party. It was great. And everyone left, and I was still there. That was actually where I met Mo of Patina for the first time.
You know, I think I do remember that. That year there was so much going on that it was like 3 or 4 things happening every night. We had to pick and choose because it was only Brian Hewitt and I with Stoker Review, so we just couldn't make everything. It was impossible.
Yeah,
and we didn't want to split up, so we had to pick it and go together. So I think that's why we ended up going to that one.
So if you guys, if you've been under a rock and you're not familiar with Ben, so you started your media career at Cigar Weekly in 2004.
Yeah.
You want to talk about how that started, or just go through kind of like your background?
Yeah. So I started smoking cigars in 1998, and how that started was when I was at Mississippi State. I was at Army ROTC, and my sergeant was my cadre sergeant. He was cavalry, and we're going to the cadet military ball, and he was saying how it was tradition with cavalry that you bring your saddlebag over your shoulder, and usually the one bag has scotch in it, and the other bag has a box of cigars. So that's kind of where it started, and but I didn't really smoke any good premium stuff. It was like bundle crap mostly until I basically moved back home in the Mississippi Gulf Coast near New Orleans. And I went to New Orleans and went to a cigar shop called Crescent City Cigars. It's on Orleans Street. And I went in there and it was packed. And at the time I didn't know the owner. Now we're really good friends. But he was with a bunch of people because it's right off of Bourbon, right? So I just kind of walked in there and looked around. I didn't know what I was looking for. I just wanted something nice because my wife was, at the time was my girlfriend. We were just walking around, kind of chilling. And I saw a cigar that had the most beautiful band ever that I'd ever seen. I picked it up. It happened to be an Ashton BSG Robusto.
Okay.
That was the first premium cigar that I ever had. So, and at the time, I had joined Cigar Weekly as just a regular member because it was one of the largest, the best forum out there at the time for cigars. And a lot of the guys there were actually from the New Orleans area. So we would get together every year because one of the guys, they had a camp on Lake Pontchartrain that was just, it was awesome. So every year we'd have a herf there. It was just so much fun. And then I started doing reviews in their review forum inside Cigar Weekly. And from there, I became basically a writer for the front page, the magazine part of it. And on there, I met two other guys that had started a blog called Nice Tight Ash at the time. And I believe that was 2006. Is what they asked me to do. If they would ask me if I would like to do a guest review. So I did a review was on the Illusione Cruzado. It was my first cigar I actually put up there. And everybody seemed to like it. So, anyway, so from then on, it was popular. So they asked me, "Would you come join us and be permanent?" I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be awesome. It sounds like a lot of fun. I love talking cigars, so why not?" And I was there for the longest time until both those guys they started families. Life got in the way, and they kind of just faded off. And I was the only one still posting on there. And I didn't have admin control over that at all. So, and at the time, we had been going to different, media trips to the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. And that's where I met most of the guys that are out here now. And that's why I was hanging out with a lot of the Stoker Review people. And on one of the trips, they were like, "Well, hey, man, why don't you come join us? We always hang out together. We think alike, we like kind of the same stuff. We think you'd be a great addition." So I joined them. And I think that was in 2009, if I remember right. And then from there, I basically was there until this year when I joined Cigar Coop. And kind of for the same reason, Cigar Review is still like my baby. Mm-hmm. But we started off with 5 people. And in the last year, I was the only one posting just because same stuff, family got in the way. Brian Hewitt was my partner in crime. Basically, he does Beer Guys Radio. He's real big in the craft beers, the beer world, just as much as he is in cigars. And they asked him to co-host on Beer Guys Radio, which is syndicated to a lot of FM radio stations across the United States. And when one of the guys left, they asked him to be a permanent host. So it basically took up all his time. And he worked a lot of hours. So with the radio show, basically his write-ups and stuff for Cigar Review kind of faded away. And I was the only one doing anything there. And again, there I didn't have much admin rights there either, so I really couldn't do much with the site. So I kind of I stopped for a while, just take a little break. And I had a lot of people, start texting me or sending me DMs like, what are you doing? Well, you need to get back into it. You start writing some more. And then, Cupid reached out a few months back. It was like, "Man, I don't want to, put any pressure on you, but if you ever decide, I would love to have you come on the Cigar Coop." And so I thought about it for the longest time, and I didn't know if I still wanted to do it anymore because I was just enjoying cigars just for pure enjoyment, not have to do any work with it. But I had just had so many people texting me and DMing me, especially the main one being Jose Blanco from Arturo Fuente. He kept calling me every time he would call me, and before he would start up talking any just normal stuff. He would say, "Ben, you need to get back out there. You have a great palate. You need to get out there, start reviewing. People miss you to get out there." So I was like, "Okay, fine." It got to be almost a daily thing. He was bugging me. So I was like, I just text Coop. I said, "Let's do this." So
awesome.
Now I'm there. Yeah.
So with Stogie Review, was that was Jerry Cruz part of that?
Yeah. Yeah. He was he was one of the original members. It was him and Walt White, and then they had, it was Brian
Heisenberg,
Hewitt.
Walter White?
No, but yeah, Walt White. That's true. There were the three main founders, and then they brought in at the time. And when I first started, we had a forum that was on there. It was a real popular forum, and there was a guy on there that he was one of the admins. His name was Mike Forey, and later on they had to get rid of the forum because it was taxing the servers so much. It was just costing a lot of money. So they shut it down. But they asked Mike, "Hey, would you like to come on and do reviews?" And at the time, he actually filled a nice little niche because we were doing a lot of stuff that was a little bit more higher end. Where Mike, he was he had some disabilities, so he stayed at home a lot. He didn't have a whole lot of money at the time, so he was reviewing some of the cheaper stuff, right?
Okay.
And there was actually really, really popular stuff too. He did pretty good with it. And a lot of people we attracted basically a new audience that was curious about, bundle sticks or those $4 or $5 cigars and stuff that we weren't really getting into, right? So, but then eventually, one by one, they just started getting life situations and it all kind of went away. But yeah, that was the original founding of it. Cigar Review was the first cigar blog on the internet at the time.
Are they the ones that kind of dominated the Twitter landscape for a while?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Sure
did. Yeah. The most famous, actually, where it kind of climaxed that was we had a tweet up. It was a Twitter herf that was at IPCPR New Orleans in 2010. Man, we had so many people there. We was at Dos Equis Cigar Bar on Chapatula Street, New Orleans. It was such a blast. We had an amazing taco truck out there called Taco Loco. It's a phenomenal taco truck. So, I mean, we had food there. I mean, a lot of people from the industry showed up and stuff. It was a blast. And that was all from Twitter, basically all from Twitter.
It's crazy. Like when you talk about just you see people come and go, I've had 3 big hobbies in my life, and I've talked about this before. It was in high school and middle school was sports. I wanted to learn everything I wanted to learn about sports. And then when I got into high school, it was movies. And then cigars. I've been smoking cigars for maybe 10 or 12 years, but I didn't really get into cigars until I started working at a shop in January of 2017. But I'm always I wonder how long this is gonna, if I'm gonna get sick, if I'm gonna be done with it. It's is this something that's gonna stick with me for as long as, you've been smoking since '98 and you've been doing the media stuff since 06, you said, right? 06?
2004.
2004. So I'm just wondering how long it's gonna last for me, or if it's still gonna be consume a lot of my downtime. Is I don't know. I think
it's always possible. Life and family come first, right? I mean,
Yeah.
This is not anybody's livelihood, really, right? So it's always going to come second to the stuff that should be a higher priority. But we all have this passion for this industry and cigars itself, for the art form of cigars. So it's kind of like when I like I said, it was basically I was done for about 6 months, I guess, and that's and I enjoyed not having to do it for a while, but then I kind of got the itch of I missed it again. So that's why I love to be able to come back to the old cigar coop and do it again. So, sometimes maybe you just need to take a break for a little while and then come back to it, but go ahead.
Let's say, Ben, if Tyler had to pick a new hobby today that he moved on to, what do you think it would be?
He would let's see. What would that'd be?
Fedoras.
Fedoras?
Yeah,
planting.
Fedoras.
Maybe I'd be a plant daddy.
Plant? Well, succulents around the house?
Or I've been thinking about possibly joining a cult or a church, at the very least.
Why join one and make your own?
Make my own. I don't think I have the personality for that. But there's a guy I work with, and he moves on like every 3 or 4 months to a new hobby. He goes all in, and then he's done, and then he just keeps. Because me and him kind of got into pipe tobacco together, and then when I started smoking more cigars, I'm like, this is way fucking easier, and I enjoy it more than fucking around with a pipe for an hour, you know. So.
That's funny because I actually did on Cigar Fed. I did a pipe show called Pipe Dummies because I love pipes too, you know. But and basically the whole show was about cigar smokers that want to dabble in the pipes because it's kind of a complicated way to smoke, right? So it was all about 3 cigar guys smoking pipe tobacco and just talking about what we think of the pipe tobacco, right? But I will say it is a lot more work, but to me, I actually enjoy it more than a cigar. To me, it's more relaxing. But also, I usually never smoke a pipe in the summer. It's always in the fall and the winter. I don't know why that is, but that's just the way it always works out.
What kind of pipe tobacco do you like?
I like a lot of the GLP stuff. Pretty much all the stuff he puts out, I love it. I love the original Frog Morton stuff. So good.
Do you have any more Frog Morton?
Oh yeah, I have cases of it.
Yeah, because that shit is selling for crazy. Well, it was selling for crazy like 2 years ago, like $70 for a tin. I probably have. I sent a bunch to Nick Melillo. I sent a bunch of shit to him, but I have a pretty big pipe seller. I have mostly it's bulk tobacco, like bulk McClellan, Cornell and Deal. Yeah. I really like Lane 1Q. It's a aromatic, but it's not like a super. Like it's not like the Cornell and Deal, the autumn one where it's like maple syrup. You know, it's
autumn evening.
Yeah, there you go. But I got a lot of McKellen. The anniversary. I sold all my Christmas McClellan. I wish I would have kept it. Yeah, I wish I would have kept it.
I try to buy 1 tin of every year and not open it, but I've missed a few years. I really miss them. I wish they would. Them going out of business was heartbreaking.
Have you met the owner, Mike and Mary McNeil?
No.
I'm trying to think of who Mike reminds me of, but he's a big personality, and he kind of reminds. I don't know if you've met Gustavo Cura from Oliva Tobacco. He reminds me of him, and they couldn't get the right tobacco anymore, so they're like, if we can't make the same product, we're just gonna shut our doors, you know.
Yeah, well, a lot of it was the FDA.
Yeah,
that was, and they're basically he wanted to retire anyway, or he wanted to get out of that. And this is my understanding of the story was that basically kids didn't want to take it over, and he didn't want to sell the company to somebody he thought would mess the blends up.
Exactly.
So he just closed the door. If I remember right, isn't he like a zookeeper in Kansas City now or something?
I'm not sure what he's doing. But yeah, he's Kansas City, because I used to run into him at the Chicago Pipe Show and the St. Louis Pipe Show.
Yeah,
I would go down with a bunch of guys from YouTube. That's how I know Evan Wiseman Pipes, who does the one and only Rebar show. Sometimes he's on there from Chicago Pipe Show. I mean, I don't really know him, but I've seen him around.
Right.
And then so it was funny. I was listening to a video, an interview where Skip was talking about when the Cro-Magnons first came out and how they're talking about samples and stuff, and they said like all the media outlets, like you guys had went out and bought the Cro-Magnon before you even. Can you tell me like how you got to know Skip?
Okay, so I first got to know Skip. It was after he lost his cigar shop in the hurricane in Galveston. He started up a cigar blog called Have a Cigar, and we talked on Twitter a lot, and we actually went to General Cigars on one of their very first media trip they ever did. I forgot what year that was. I think it was 2010 or 2009, something like that. It was a long time ago. And we just kind of hit it off. And then we got back. We started playing a lot of Call of Duty together late at night. We stayed up all night playing Call of Duty. And we always smoked. He smoked these two different cigars. I always smoked this one, and we smoked this one together. It was a La Flor Dominicana Double Lajero 660 Maduro. We smoked. I bet boxes of those, or sometimes we would smoke the Nessa Miranda. It was the Dano in
Mhm.
2010, or um, another one was the Zeno Platinum was the barrel, or no, the Emperor, the Crown, which was like it was a 2009 had a maroon band on it. We smoked the living hell out of those, and then he would also smoke the Huila Nicaragua and Antonio Dark Rojo, and I never cared for that cigar. It was to me it was too earthy and bitter, but he loved it. So whenever he brought out the Cro Magnon, I knew that that cigar was going to like if you take that LFD and that Hoya de Nicaragua, and they had a bastard child together, it would be the Cro Magnon. And so whenever he came out with that with his 10-pack sampler, I had to get it. I had to, you know. And I remember back in the time he got a little bit of crap from some of the bloggers of back then. Like, you know, he should have sent out samples so we could try it out before we bought them. Because the sample pack I think was like $120 or something like that for 10 sticks. But I've never felt that way. Like, to me, if it's your friend trying to start a business
Yeah.
venture, like a restaurant or anything, don't go asking for free shit. Support them and purchase everything at full price.
Yeah.
That's how you support your friend. So I bought one immediately. Those original Cro Magnons were so good. I mean, they're really good now, but that original one, I'll never forget getting the pack. And I'm smoking with a friend of mine that was a cop back home, and we're in my truck smoking behind the police department, if I remember right. And this cigar is putting out so much smoke because we're smoking the craniums. Because you got a 5-pack of cranium and then another 5-pack of various sizes, and one size never came out. I forgot what it was called, but
Was it the 6x60?
it was a big sucker. I can't remember the name of that, but it only came in that pack. He's never put it out since then that I know of. But we're smoking that thing, and it looks like my truck's on fire. I mean, it's just billowing smoke out the side, you know. And it was so good, but it had so much Lajero and it was so oil in it. I bet I had to relight it 6 or 7 times. And when you relight a cigar that much, it gets disgusting and muddy and nasty. Mm-hmm. That one never did. It was so rich. It was one of the richest, flavorful cigars I've ever had. I never minded. That was that right there was like, wow, he's got something here. This is going to be big. Sure enough, it did.
I would love to try the what that blend was based off of, that Christian Arroyo was coming out with. I think it was a National Maduro, or is something like a tweak of that blend or something. I think he was saying that he was selling at a shop. And that's what he was trying to recreate.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So you were saying that I was actually going to follow that up, and you had answered my question kind of. When you smoked that, did you see like Roma Craft being where it is now, like fucking throwing a big festival in Austin with fucking Scarface there? Did you see that?
I didn't. I figured I honestly thought that they would become a big boutique, but I didn't. I'll be honest, I didn't see where they're at today. Today they're one of the top cigar companies in the world right now. Right? They're making some of the best stuff you can get. But I knew when I smoked that, and just knowing Skip before that, I knew that Roma Craft was going to be something special. You know, with him and Mike teaming up, I knew they had a good idea of where they wanted to go and a good plan. Great tobacco, good cigars, you know, Esteban blending for them. It was good, man. I knew it was a good blueprint, but I thought they would become like a major boutique brand. But I didn't at first imagine they would be as big as they are now. But it doesn't surprise me either.
And it's like people at my full-time job in Milwaukee are asking me, like, kind of describing like what Roma Craft is, and I can't even really explain it to like you can't even compare it to like other cigar brands, you know, because brands that only make like 1 million cigars usually don't have their own factory. Like, I mean, I don't even know who I could compare them to. I mean, they're on their own like playing field. I just can't, I love Nick stuff, Foundation, but he doesn't have his own factory. Tatuaje, that's Pepin. Saka uses a couple different factories. It's like you can't really, Crown Heads uses like 10 factories. You can't really. I can't really think of what's the word, like Dom? What's the word for
Different echelon?
a what? No, like
Echelon? Tier?
comparison. I don't know. But
why? Question. I don't know if you guys can answer this. Why don't more of these cigar makers invest in buying their own factory?
Cost. It's
Okay.
not cheap. But it's a little bit easier to deal with if you basically you're sourcing another factory to do your work. But Skip and Mike are always about basically quality over quantity, right? It's all about keeping it good and consistent, a top-notch product, top-shelf product, And the best way you can do that is you have your own tobacco, not growing, but you source all your tobacco, and you have it at your factory. You control as much as you possibly can. That way, if you smoke an Aquitaine today and you smoke one in 10 years from now, it's going to taste just the same.
I would say the closest company you could compare it to would be Black Label.
Yeah.
But what Black Label doesn't have is they don't have a Esteban.
Right.
So Esteban, his brother runs Noxa, and who has a controlling interest in Noxa? The Olivas. So bam, that's where you get your tobacco from. And Skip I was gonna give this a shout out. Skip was on the Light 'Em Up podcast, and he was talking about how hard it is to get certain tobacco, and the reason they're able to get it was Esteban, but also because they're only asking for a little bit of it. It's easier to ask for a small amount of something than versus let me get all that. And it was interesting too that he was talking about the Baca. The hardest part wasn't the Cameroon; it's getting the two leaves for the filler from Hamastron, Honduras, and he's got to get it from the Arroyas and then Placencia. So it's like I don't know. It's just and then seeing the new shit they're working on it's pretty exciting. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased, or I am biased, but I don't know. I just respect the hell out of it. But
if anybody goes to that factory, you can see where Skip has brought a lot of the corporate world to that, because like that, the way that factory is set up, everything flows in such a orderly fashion. Like there's like no waste of any kind of product or movement or nothing. It like tobacco comes in, gets sourced out and sorted and stuff, and rolls, the aged, the box, and then out for shipping. It's like what ISO 9003, or I think it's what or I think that's what he's using or something. But it's those principles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like that factory is so streamlined, it's amazing. There's no waste anywhere.
And just like HQ with how they get the orders in, and then it's all it's all
so
organized a lot.
If tobacco is so valuable of an asset, finding it, purchasing it, and whatnot, do they have like safe houses? They can't keep it all in the factory. You don't want to keep all your eggs in one basket. So do they have locations that are undisclosed to other people? How's that work?
So because of Esteban's relationship with the Olivas, Gus lets them keep tobacco at their at Prosenixa, they call it pre-industry, and they'll ferment it even further for Skip and Esteban. In fact, I remember I was there because I spent literally 1 week just on the fermentation of tobacco, and I was checking all the temperatures and when they were treated with the water, and then I had found some broadleaf that was for Cro-Magnon, and it and it was funny because I sent the picture to the guys. They're like, "Don't fucking touch our broadleaf," but that's like it's all like I mean, money's a big thing, but it's connections too. It's but yeah, they'll store that there, and then at Pro Sneaksa they have security guards, you know, around the clock, and of barbed wire fence around it, you know.
Yeah, a lot of companies will have big tobacco warehouses, or like Drew Estate kind of does a hybrid model where they used to have a lot of these little tobacco bodegas all throughout Esteli and stuff, and they house different tobaccos there, and they're doing, you know, all the fermenting and stuff there, and they're guarded as well. But then the last time I was there, they were building that massive warehouse on the Drew Estate facility, and even then, I remember Saka telling us that as soon as this is done, it's gonna be full. He's gonna fill that up and be still using those bodegas still because they have so much tobacco. So every company is a little bit different, but yeah, they definitely protect that stuff.
And then I thought it was interesting too that he was Skip was talking on that interview with Reinhold about Brazil, our Paraca, and John or Skip. A little backstory: Skip was talking to Jonathan Drew about what tobacco he should use for a blend, because, and Dom, you were there for that story. They didn't have any broadleaf, and then they were working on the Aquitaine. And then they were working on the Intemperance EC, and they wanted a fourth one to fill out the Intemperance before Whiskey Rebellion came out. And then Jonathan Drew's like, I don't know what you should work with, but I know what you shouldn't work with, and that's Brazil, our Paraca. And then because JD had just sent it back over to he got rid of the tobacco back to I forgot who had it, the Taranios, or I forgot, but so Skip went to Esteban and said, what do you know about our Paraca? And he's like, I know a lot, you know. We did I think it was a Taranio had the our Paraca, or maybe it was the CAO, because Esteban used to run SCG's factory, and but Skip was saying it takes 5 years to ferment our Paraca. So you have to, I mean, you have to invest a lot of time and a lot of fucking money. And it's surprising too that cigar is not more than, you know, $8. You know, it ranges from 5 to 9 depending on the size, you know. And then I got a question for Ben, that Alex from Lake Country, he's been on the pod a few times. He wants to know, like, when he asked me if I knew when Nicaragua kind of blew up, where they're now the like #1 producer of cigars. Do you know when that happened, Ben?
Not really. I think it was Hoya Nicaragua was the one that led that charge. That's who did it, and it was after basically the Sandinistas had kind of taken over the country, and everything started calming down, right? And then Hoya came back to life after that. I mean, if you actually go to the Hoya Nicaragua factory, you could actually go on the outside of the wall and see bullet holes.
Oh wow!
To where during the war, Sandinistas war, that place got lit up, right? And then you had other companies start moving in because you had a lot of ex-Cubans that they went like the Dominican Republic, and
Honduras.
then they came over to Honduras and then Nicaragua and brought their craft there with them. So Nicaragua is probably, you know, in the mid 80s or so is when it really started to become a factor, you know, and it just has boomed ever since, because now you had basically Nicaragua was growing tobacco that was much fuller and stronger than anything that could be made in Nicaragua, right? I mean, in the Dominican Republic. And that started appealing to people. Like, you basically had the, you know, Hoya Nicaragua, Antonio come out. And people were like, whoa, this thing will put you on your ass. It is so strong. Well, nowadays it's kind of like, you know, it's a full cigar, but it's not a, you know, kill you cigar like it used to be considered, you know. But that's kind of where it all started, was after the Sandinistas kind of calmed down, and, you know, the Civil War stopped, and then basically those cigar factories could start producing cigars again. And that was all led by Nicaragua.
And I think it also helped too when Padron came out with the anniversary. That was in the 90s, right?
Yes.
Because I think they were just known for their 1000 series, and then Cigar Aficionado kind of blew them up, right? Is that how it went?
Yeah. The Padrones had always been like the 1000 series is always a staple cigar for most cigar smokers, especially in the 90s, right? But when they came out with the anniversary series, it was a game changer. I mean, because now, I mean, because back in the day, Nicaragua cigars were a little bit rough around the edges, right? But now you come out with the Padrones, come out with the anniversary series, and it's like this beautiful, elegant cigar with amazing tobacco that was just, it was very flavorful and full, but it was so smooth and so well blended that it kind of showcased a lot of what Nicaragua cigars can be.
Hmm.
Tyler, when's the last time you smoked an Antonio?
It's been a long time. I have a 4-pack that I got at the trade show 2 years ago in that little wooden case. So I should fire one up. It's been forever.
I think the last one I smoked was when I did an Instagram review, but I remember it being one of the first cigars that I thought was full in strength, but more mild, medium in body, which is always hard for me to describe, but to me it felt like that. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, body and strength it's hard to explain, and it's confusing to me because in my opinion, I always thought you get body from a Maduro, from it being fermented, and then you get the strength from like the Ligero, which is wrong. Like, because and Skip always compares it to like beer, but it's like I don't drink beer, so that analogy doesn't work for me, But I don't know. I don't know why I think that, but I gotta flip it because it's not right.
Yeah, a lot of people, and my cousin actually he flew up to Dallas for work, and we went out to a couple of cigar shops and stuff. He was like, we're walking around trying to pick stuff out. He's like, oh yeah, I don't want a Maduro. I don't want anything I don't want anything real heavy and strong. I'm like, what the hell's that got to do with the Maduro?
Yeah.
He said, well, Maduros are really strong. I'm like, depends on the Maduro, man. It's not really has nothing to do with the wrapper being a Maduro. I mean, it could be what's the filler like, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what's inside, really. Maduro could be mild. But it could also be extra full body too. You just don't know, full body, full strength. But you can't go by the color. And the biggest person that always talks about that is Jose Blanco. You go to one of his seminars, he repeats that over and over and over again because it's a common misconception throughout the cigar world. Oh, that cigar's dark. It's going to be super strong. No, not always,
And that's why I like smoking the bone marrow, which was from the Potluck Tatuaje series, because it was a bone crusher with the Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper. And I've only smoked one of the Cro-Magnon with the Connecticut wrapper. But I don't know if they're good or if it's just like a mind fuck where it's a super light wrapper, but the binder and filler or the filler or whatever is super, super strong. So like, I don't know if it's good or it's fucked with your head because you're smoking something super light, looks light, but it's got some strength to it.
In terms of the color, is there a universal color scale where you can tell somebody, no, this is not Maduro, it's Oscuro, or no, you can't call this Colorado?
Yeah.
Is there a police like going around saying this is improperly labeled?
I don't think there's a police force kind of implementing that. It just kind of goes off the blenders of the company themselves. But it's all kind of standardized now, so people have done it so much to where usually there's not too much of differentiation between Colorado here and Colorado there. It's kind of pretty close.
All right.
And so, kind of going back a little bit on Weasel Fest, what were your thoughts on Weasel Fest?
Man, that was freaking a blast, dude. I was so glad that I went to Weasel Fest, man, because at first I wasn't going to be able to go because I had another event planned that I had to be at in Florida. But when that got canceled, I was able to get a hold of a VIP ticket and go there. And man, that was so. I mean, just like everything else Roman Craft does, it was very well run and it was awesome. The food was amazing. All the different vendors they had there with the different beers, and they had Garrison Brothers with the bourbons, and that what was that other drink they had. It was SoCal, I think was what it's called.
Total.
Yeah, that soda. That stuff was amazing. I had never even heard of them before we went to Weasel Fest.
Me either.
You know, and I don't listen to rap music right at all. But man, the bands that was there was Scarface just was unbelievably awesome. But you know, he was up on stage with a good friend of mine, you know, Jack Freeman, who's an amazing jazz singer. He's awesome. So having those two combined was awesome, dude. The musical talent there was amazing. You know, Third Root, the first band, right? You know, they had real progressive lyrics, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was freaking awesome, dude. Like, it was so good. I thought the lyrics were fantastic, you know, and I thought they played an amazing show. And then I can't remember the middle band that had like it was like 18 people on stage playing instruments.
Like psychedelic something or other?
Yeah, I can't remember the name off the top of my head now, but yeah, they were amazing. I couldn't understand a word they were saying because it was all in Spanish, but it was still cool. Like the music was amazing, you know. It was awesome. It was a great time, you know. So yeah, I thought it was a smash hit. And you know, if you like Roma Craft cigars, you know, and you're in the cigar world, you've got to go to the next Wheel Fest. I mean, you've got to make it.
I'm surprised more local people didn't go.
Yo, yeah, exactly. Tyler, on that note, it was weird because I was stranded there for, 2 extra days, 2 or 3. So I just hung out at Habana House and then one day at Smoker's Abbey. But the clientele in there just, I don't know if they had no clue. Some of them knew about it, but it's weird because to me, that's
in your fucking backyard. Like,
yeah. I think of it as a big deal. For them, it's probably not, but it should be.
I'll say one of the issues was Skip told us it was basically 2 main issues. One, this has nothing to do with local, but just attendance, was some people didn't want to travel still because of COVID. That was one issue. But one of the other big issue was, and I didn't even think of this, was a lot of people had graduations that weekend.
Yeah.
So even if you're local and your kid's graduating from high school, you can't be at Roma Craft at the Weasel Fest event, you know. So, you know, I did see a few locals that, you know, came for a few hours that had to leave.
Yeah.
So, but I know a lot of people didn't come because they had family obligations that weekend, like graduation. But still a good turnout. I thought it was still a really good turnout, you know.
Yeah, it just blows my mind that, like, so the shop I work at, they throw a big event every year called the Little Smoke, and they get about 300 people there, and you get it's a lot like these festivals where multi-vendor events. So you get like 20 different vendors, and then there's like these big tables, and then you get the rep, or sometimes you get like Jonathan Jew usually comes every year. You know, a lot of figureheads come, but you get like a big bag when you enter, you know, like 20 cigars, you know, and it's like, it's just like, some people are like, oh, I'm not paying $150 and you know, for 20 cigars that I only like half of them or whatever. It's like, first of all, it's the experience, you know, and I don't know if that's like a younger thing where it's like, to me, as you know, the VIP is expensive, and then, you know, but it's like, it's an experience, you know. It's like, you're gonna be talking about this forever, and then it's all the people you fucking meet there, and then it's like, I get it, you could have bought 2 boxes of cigars for it, but it's a weekend where you get to hang out with people, you know, and have fun, and I just don't
make connections.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I know, like I've been not sleeping as much, you know. I'm stressed out with the move, and it's quick, and then I'm going to be at the fucking PCA, and then I come back, and then the next morning I got to get up early and drive down to Austin. But it's like, I just think about like, you know, Ben's in Dallas. It's only a 3-hour drive. I can come up on one of the night or early, and then we can hang out at the cigar shop all day and fucking drive home. And then you got all the guys. I know all the guys from Michael's pretty well, and then El Dandy Cubano lives in Dallas too, and then Houston, you got Tyler and Jerry, and then I met a bunch of the guys who hang out at those shops, you know. But yeah, it's I don't get it. But
Yeah, though that was the one thing too. The like, I met a lot of really cool people at Weasel Fest. People that we kind of, talk to every now and then on in the Facebook group. Weasel Team 6. But I was able to see them, in person now.
yeah,
And everybody was super cool. So I made a lot of new friends there, right? But also, when I lived in Houston for a year, 2015. So a lot of my cigar buddies there were at the show at Weasel Fest too. So I was able to reconnect and see them all again, and that was probably the highlight of Weasel Fest for me. Was seeing all my friends from Houston are now at Weasel Fest. We was able to catch back up again. So yeah, it's not just the cigars; it's way more than that.
yeah, and so yeah, if you have a chance to go next year, fucking try your hardest to go. I don't know if they're gonna do it. I mean, because it's a lot of work, and it's expensive for Skip and Mike and the team. So it's yeah, it's a great time.
Tyler, you're not gonna be stressed out in Vegas the whole time, right? You're gonna have some fun.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Speaking of that though, have you ever been to media parties, Tyler?
No, not a media party. No.
Do you feel like you're missing out because you're going to be working with me at the Bettina booth and you're not going to be going as a CigarNoise Boys representative going to media parties?
Well, no one's heard of CigarNoise Boys, so but I will have 2 badges. I'll have a retailer badge from a shop in Texas, and then I'll have a patina badge.
Nice.
So maybe I should try to get a media badge so I have all 3 badges.
Might as well.
My badge collection.
CigarNoise Bois.
Yeah, Bois.
Oh boy. Ben, would you just light up?
Oh, it's the Mil Diaz. This has become one of my favorite smokes. I cannot get enough of this.
Have you tried the new size?
I had the. Go ahead.
Have you tried the new size?
Which one?
The big double Corona Doble.
I don't know.
It's got the secondary band.
Box of 10.
Wait, is that the one? I think is it the one that we bought at yeah, we bought it at Michael's when you were up here, didn't we?
Yeah, did you smoke it?
No, you told me to wait.
Yeah, it's I smoked it twice, and both times I was disappointed. So I'm gonna smoke it again. Yeah, because I like the other sizes. I have a box of the first Ellie they did, that little Corona, but I'm gonna smoke that Saturday. I'll smoke the big one. I mean, it's to give something 3 chances that's that fucking big. It's hard, to justify it, because that's like, I smoke fast, but that's still an hour and fucking 45 minute smoke for me.
I had the Edmundo last night, actually.
Yep, that's my favorite size.
It was so good.
Yeah.
The guy at Smokers Abbey Austin told me that his favorite size was that limited double band one.
Maybe.
Still haven't pulled the trigger on a box, but.
So what didn't you like about it when you smoked it there?
It was harsh.
It was harsh? Because you didn't tell me what the reason was. So wait. So.
Yeah, it was harsh, and I mean at Michael's it was right off the truck, and then I think I smoked it again at Smokers Abbey or Habana House. I think I bought another, or maybe I bought it at Lake Country. Maybe Lake Country. Yeah, and it was still parts of it were good, but parts of it still tasted like it was like not quite ready. I don't want to say wet, but it just didn't seem quite ready.
Yeah.
But I look forward to trying it again.
I had that one other time with a Crown Head cigar, and it was
La Creme?
La Creme. And because I smoked that at the show, and I thought it was pretty good, but I thought it needs a little bit of time, but it's a show sample, so or whatever. And then I got back to it was in Houston. That's when it came out. I was there. I remember I went to it was Serious Cigars at the time, and now it's Casa de Monte Cristo in Clear Lake. And I smoked it. And I thought, man, this thing's off. I don't like this at all, right? And I remember I was talking to Coop at the time, and he said it was saying the same thing. Well, probably I say a few months later, Andrew was one of the guys that worked there. He was one of the managers. He was like, "Man, you should try the La Creme," because he was smoking it when I walked in. I'm like,
Mm.
"Really? You like that?" He's like, "Yeah, man, it's so good." I'm like, "All right." So I went back in. I grabbed one with a bunch of other stuff, and I said, I'll light this up first. Man, it was like night and day. It was so freaking good. It was so chocolatey. It was
Yeah.
unbelievable. So just a little bit like it was like 6 months time, 6 to 8 months time did magic for that. Like that cigar became one of my favorite Crown Heads for a while.
And then it
so good.
disappeared for a while, like 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I know they're having problems getting the broadleaf, but what was funny was I think it was Miguel's idea for the Bellicoso Fino, the La Creme, which was the most popular Ellie they ever did. And then he was also responsible for the least popular Ellie they ever did, the Luminosa 6x60, Connecticut, both out of EP Carrillo.
Well, where's our camera?
There it is. Yeah, the Bellicoso Fino. Wait, is that what year is that? 2020?
2021. New one.
Okay.
Yeah, I picked this up yesterday or this past weekend at El Dorado Cigars in McKinney, Texas. They had several of them. Well, they had like 3 left, and I bought 3, so
Nice.
there's none left. So,
speaking of EP Carrillo, I want to try that short run they're coming out with. A new short run, which I don't think they've come out with in a long time.
I've always enjoyed the short runs.
I wish I would have gotten that humidor he did with the 3 different blends. Do you remember that? The Ernie's chest or Ernie's humidor?
I don't remember. I remember that.
I know Coop was always talking about it on what the fuck? What's that podcast he used to be on?
Oh, Smoking Geeks.
Stogie Geeks, yeah.
Yeah, Stogie Geeks, yeah.
And then I saw that CI had one like a year ago, because this is like 5 years old, and they had it on like clearance, and I didn't pull the trigger, and I regret not doing it. But that's one thing would be cool, that if Coop could do that with bring back like a Cigar of the Week segment, because I think that's I thought was interesting. I mean, I used to listen to a lot of the older ones, even though you can't even find those cigars anymore. Because now Stogie Geeks is literally unwatchable. If Paul gets back on, I'll listen to Paul, but the Joe Hollywood and then the other characters, it just when they don't know anything about like the factory or the name of the cigar, I get too frustrated and I can't listen.
Yeah, I understand.
It'd be like Dom doing a Stogie of the Week segment. It's like I can't listen to it.
I would do research. Hey, trade show's coming up. Real quick question. What cigars do you bring to the trade show? Because I messed up last 2 shows ago. Well, 1 show ago, 2 years ago. And I brought really nice stuff, and it all just blew up on me. So what are some cigars that you're grabbing to bring with you?
Usually what I'll bring is I'll just bring stuff that I really enjoy smoking, because a lot of this stuff you'll get at the trade show, you can't really smoke it because it's sitting in that super dry air and it dries out so quick. So I rarely will smoke anything that I get at the show unless I'm just so damn eager I want to try it so bad, and then I'll give it a shot. But usually I'll bring my own stuff, or I'll pick stuff up there at like the Doubt Off bar that's out on the strip. I'll pick stuff up there and smoke it. But usually I'll bring a big a chest, kind of like what Tyler carries around, and I'll just pack it with stuff that I know I want to enjoy while I'm out there. But it's a little rough. I got to make sure I have plenty of Bovita packs.
Yeah.
Just because I'm coming, like, and I've said this in a couple of shows, like when I lived, in Houston and then, on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, then in Florida, it's so humid that I keep my cigars around 63, 64%, relative humidity. Because when I go outside, it's going to absorb 2 to 3% out from just because it's so humid outside. But here in Dallas, it's not as humid, so I'm kind of having to readjust that. And I got to kind of think of the same thing when I go to Vegas. It's so dry that I need to make sure that my, RH on my cigars is a little bit above what I like, because I know when I start to take it out and smoke it, it's going to start drying out pretty good. But usually I just bring stuff that I really want to enjoy.
For me, yeah, I'm just gonna bring stuff that I usually smoke. So I'll probably bring a shitload of Cro-Magnon mandibles, and then probably a bunch of intemperance, and then maybe some loose stuff I have. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you don't, you got to bring something. And Dom's notorious for not bringing anything, because like
true.
that like the first night, you're there, you don't want to be stuck spending $20 on a Illusione Rothschild from Casa de Monte Cristo, because you don't have any cigars, or you don't want to be the guy begging for cigars. So you gotta bring something. My advice. So Alex, if you're listening, bring some stuff, but don't bring anything. Don't bring your Davidoff collection. And then Ben, do you have a special occasion for that Oro Blanco that Skip gave you?
Yeah, my birthday this year.
When's your
That's
birthday?
on my wait. July 29th.
Perfect.
Nice. I plan on smoking it then because, hey man, you're not gifted tomorrow, so I don't want to wait too long. So I'm gonna smoke it on my birthday end of the month, in the next month. Usually on my birthday, I'll line up some really special stuff that I've been saving or whatever, some rare Opus, rare Davidoffs, Padron, stuff like that. Some of my high-end stuff.
So how you liking Dallas? You've been there for like a year now, right? Or
it'll be a year next month. Yeah, I love it here. I love Dallas. I love Texas. Just Texas in general. I love Texas. But I really love Dallas, the people here are really cool, real nice. I have so many cigar shops. It's unbelievable. Like it's so many, especially on the north side of Dallas where I'm at. There's tons. I mean, I think one time I counted up within I think it was like a 20-minute drive or something like that. It was like 40 shops I can go to. Like legit, yeah, like legit cigar shops, not like smoke shop or whatever, shit like that, or vape and cigar shop. No, like legit cigar shops. There's so many here, it's unbelievable, and they all have their like little niche and personalities too. There's a few that I kind of stick with and go to a lot now, but yeah, I love it. The food here is really good. No matter what kind of food you're looking for, it's here. It's in Dallas, So I love Asian food, like Korean barbecue or ramen, sushi, actually Korean fried chicken, probably the best fried chicken you'll ever eat. There's a place next to me called Carrollton, Texas, that has it's a big Asian area, and they got all that there. They got this one little like intersection of the main highway. It's like 4 different Korean barbecue places. There's a Korean pancake place, Korean hot dog place, like 5 different Korean chicken places. There's an uncountable amount of sushi places. Really cool Korean ice cream shop that's really cool. Yeah, they take like a puff pastry fish, right? It's shaped like a fish, but it's like a waffle. And they put their ice cream, and there's Korean ice cream. It's kind of like gelato.
Yeah.
They put it inside the fish. So like your cone basically is this waffle, this soft, warm waffle. Dude, it is unfreaking believable good. It's so good.
I've seen that. There's a place near me that does that, but I've never tried it.
It's unbelievable. It's the best ice cream you'll ever have.
Have you heard of Nobu? Nobu? It's like a high-end. I mean, they sell steak, but it's mostly sushi but like
Wagyu.
Let's see here, Dallas. Like a lot of the famous people eat there in and I think they have one in LA. But yeah, they have one in Nobu, Dallas, Nobu.
Yeah.
I mean, it's expensive as fuck. It's located in Hotel Crescent Court. So
I don't know where that's at, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, like the $100, you can get a Nobu Dallas hot bento, which is spicy edamame, California.
Wait. Spicy what?
Oh, how do you say that? Edamame. How do you say it?
Try it
No,
again.
I'm not gonna say it.
It's edamame.
Edamame, same thing. California, cauliflower, jalapeno, king crab, whole bunch of shit. So I'm not a seafood dude, but I always hear people talking about that restaurant.
I grew up on the Gulf Coast, man, so I'm all about seafood.
Oh,
Yeah,
now speaking of
Go
food, let's talk about queso again, real quick. Before we started, you had mentioned you did a little research on queso.
Yeah, did we explain the backstory to this?
Yeah,
first?
go ahead. Yeah.
Otherwise, it makes no damn sense. No, you tell it.
I don't.
Go ahead.
Okay, we go to this restaurant. Tyler said, "Oh, Tex-Mex," and then the lady out front's like, "This isn't Tex-Mex, you know." And he's like, "What? I thought it was." And she cultured him, told him it was. I don't remember what she said, but it wasn't.
But it was Tex-Mex. She was just being a Karen.
She kind of was. Yeah.
She was eavesdropping.
It was 100% Tex-Mex.
Thank you, Ben.
So we get our chips, and she asked about salsa and queso, and then certain types of queso. You could have queso with meat. Anyway, I've never been to a restaurant that's handed out queso ever, and so I thought it was the strangest thing. We've mentioned this on an episode before. Ben, I don't think I've told you yet. I've gotten Instagram ads with queso in it. So my phone's listening to me, and it's been trying to get me to move to Dallas, I guess.
Of course. You wouldn't believe the stuff that I could do with an iPhone.
Scary
Well, that's
stuff.
a whole other subject. That's a whole other subject. So, so basically, funny enough, I'm in a lot of different Dallas foodie groups on Facebook, and probably a couple weeks maybe after we got back, somebody had posted in the one that it's called Fort Worth Foodies. It's a really good one. And somebody posted in there like, "Hey, my mom's visiting from San Diego. She doesn't really care for Tex-Mex. So does anybody know a place right here that serves Cali-Mex?" And I was like, "What the hell is Cali-Mex? What is that?" You know, because I didn't know. I've never been to California before much, right? So I've never been over there at all. So, you know, somebody else, before I could post that, I noticed some other people had posted like, "What does that mean? What are you talking about, Cali-Mex?" And a couple of people came on there because there's a lot of people from California have moved to Texas, right? They either go to Austin or they come to Dallas, one of the two. So basically, they were explaining the difference between Tex-Mex and Cali-Mex is Tex-Mex uses a lot of chilies and salsas, a lot of queso and stuff. Well, queso just means cheese in Spanish, but like melted cheeses and stuff like that, cheese blends and stuff. And it's heavily spiced, right? A lot of ground beef that's heavily spiced, and that's used for filling for tacos and whatnot. And one of the ladies explained that, like in California, they don't do refried beans. It's mostly black beans or whole beans or something like that. It's really fresh. It's all fresh stuff. And like, if you order a taco, it's usually shredded beef and not ground beef. There's not a lot of sauces. They don't use a whole lot of queso, but when they do use queso, it's the crumble cheese, you know, and not the soft melted kind. And they don't do queso bowls of queso, which I thought was really cool. Like, to me, I don't, you know, it's not one's better than the other. It's just different, which I like. I like trying different things. So now I'm on the lookout for California Mexican here. I got to try it now. A lot of fish, a lot of seafood in it and stuff. It's basically like, people are like, "Oh, that's not," you know, a lot of the Texans, native Texans, "Oh, that's not real Mexican." Like, yeah, it is. It actually is a real Mexican. It's different air. Like the United States, there's no American cuisine, really. We got all kinds of different stuff. Like, you go to New Orleans, it's all Creole food. North Louisiana is a lot of Cajun food and whatnot. That's indigenous to Louisiana, right? And Mississippi and some of Alabama, right? But that is, you can't say that that's not American food or whatnot. It was the same with Mexico. There's no real one right Mexican food, right? You got northern Mexico, the Yucatan, Baja California. It's all different types of Mexican food. Well, the Baja California style is what pretty much is in California, right? Northern Mexican or the mountain areas of Mexican food. A lot of that is kind of what is the basis of Tex-Mex. So I just thought it was cool how the differences in it. So when when you said what's queso, we were like, what do you mean what's queso? But now that I know Cali Mex, I totally understand now. I get it.
Yep.
Yeah, I was surprised that California doesn't have a Qdoba, because that's where like they have queso at, and then I know Chipotle kind of copied that. I don't know if it didn't do. I don't think it did that well, but I think you guys have Chipotle, right?
Yeah, we have Chipotle pretty much
They
everywhere.
don't have queso.
That's the ads I get on Instagram are Chipotle ads with queso, but I've never seen queso at Chipotle. So maybe it's new.
It is. Actually, they came out with it not too long ago. You could buy queso, but they had to take it off the menu because people complained that it was kind of nasty. It had like a grainy texture to it. So they took it off and kind of redid it and brought it back. But no, Chipotle hasn't normally had queso that you buy.
I know we passed the hour mark, so before I forget, shout out to our sponsor, CigarNoise. We're hanging out with Dave West at the trade show. Check out some of our old videos we did on YouTube, CigarNoise Weekly. And yeah, check out everything Dave does with Small Batch on blog posts. Good stuff. Tyler, have you smelt the air fresheners yet?
Oh yeah, they're potent. I put one in our break room at work, and somebody stole it. But
That's
it's
good thing. Marketing.
Yeah, it smells good.
Hey, we gotta do a giveaway or something sometime soon. Because we've had, I don't know if you've seen, we've had 2 people on Instagram reach out to us asking to do like Richie's like, oh, hey, can I do a trade or something to get one? It's like, dude, we'll do a contest. We'll send these out.
Yeah, we'll send them out. It's really, I mean, it's like we did with the stickers. We sent them to a bunch of people too. You know, we just got to throw them an envelope with a stamp on it. I don't know how many stamps you need for them. They turned out nice.
Once again, if you get one, there's no warning label on it. Please do not put this on your dashboard in your car. It'll melt your car.
Yeah.
I had the warning removed. Just keep it hanging like a normal air freshener. Everything will be fine.
Or if you're not going to hang it right away, keep it in the package.
Yeah.
How much were those puppies?
I can check right now. It wasn't too bad. What did we get? 50?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they turned out really nice.
It looks like they were only 85. Is that right?
It's like $1.60, $1.50 each ish.
I'm mathed out for today, but
yeah,
wasn't too bad.
Nice.
What do you think about the yellow string on them? I try to match it with I don't know if it was the zigzag lightning bolts or my glasses are yellow. I was just trying to match it with that.
I didn't notice, so maybe it's a good thing.
Fair.
Oh, and then I have one more kind of off the wall question. What's your favorite Vitola and then your least favorite?
Favorite Vitola, that's either Corona Gorda. Least favorite, that's easy too. Gordo, 6x60.
Dom?
I'm going to say Toro. I'm with the majority of Americans for favorite. I really didn't like Robusto for a long time. I don't know why. I'm going to say that. Yeah, Robusto.
My favorite's Robusto.
I'm about to say, I know what your favorite is. The Robusto for sure. I knew that one.
Robusto. And then, I mean, obviously, I would say anything bigger than a 60, but I never liked Figurados just because of the draw. And I end up, I mean, it's like when you're like a double perfecto, they never burn fucking right, and it just annoys the fuck out of me. So I'll cut that nipple off until it's flat, you know, and then I end up taking it down so it's almost like a regular, almost past the cap, you know, because I like to have a wide open draw. But yeah, But I've been smoking a shitload of Perfectos because it seemed like last year everybody came out with one. Foundation, fucking Tatuaje with that black double perfecto. I forgot the name. It's based on a Cuban size Roma. So I've actually turned the corner on those because I've been smoking those Grand Perfectos now that they're at the shop, and they're really, really good. But yeah, I still don't like torpedoes.
I'm not a big fan of torpedoes either. But going off what Dom said, like if I'm going to try a new blend of a new line,
Mm-hmm.
I grab the Toro every time to test the blend. And I started doing that because I was lucky enough to be able to go down to Davidoff, the Dominican Republic, and tour the factory and the fields. And Hickey Kellner said something to us there that I'll never forget. He's like, he always tests a blend in the Toro because the ratio with the wrapper, binder, and filler are pretty even. So you get a good feel of everything in a Toro. So ever since then, I start with a Toro, and then I'll branch off and try all the rest of the line. Because every line has a sweet spot size, right?
Yeah, bell the
It
ball.
could be right. It could be the Robusto. It could be a Toro. It could be the Torpedo, Bellicoso, Corona. What you don't know. You don't know. But when I start my first try of a line, it's always a Toro.
What do you think of Churchills or Churchills and Lanceros?
I've always been a pretty big Lancero fan. I love Churchills. I do love Churchills. To me, they're just elegant. To me, a Churchill's an elegant cigar. It kind of reminds me of old time cigars. You know, like every time you saw like pictures, you know, of George Burns or Red Auerbach or Winston Churchill smoking, they're smoking usually a Churchill. You know, maybe a double Corona if they were available when they were smoking or whatever. So to me, it's always been like one of the OG sizes. And I do, and usually it's like a 7x47. So it's a little bit smaller of a ring gauge. So I've always enjoyed a Churchill. You just got to have the time to smoke one. But I love Churchills. And same with Lanceros, I enjoy them. But they're either on or they're off. There's nothing in between.
There's no in between.
They smoke amazing or they're total trash. There's no like, no, it's always one or the other. So I kind of have a love-hate with Lanceros. Like if I see one, I'm going to grab it and smoke it. But it's got to wow me to go back, you know?
Yeah, like the Patina, Connecticut. I love that in the Churchill. And then
the Artifact.
The Artifact. And then the it's been studying. And then the Weasel Fest, the BA in that 4.5x60. I just smoked another one of those. I really like that a lot.
Yes, I know I said I hate big ring gauge, but man, dude, those little Petit Gordos are so good.
Yeah.
Literally every one I've had, it's been amazing. Like I think that's now my new favorite size. Definitely the Temperance line, for sure. They're so good.
Yeah, I gotta, when I move down there, hopefully Habana House still has some. I need to pick up those.
I mean, if they still had Black Honeys, they probably have those too.
Well, Black Honey isn't really popular.
Well, no. But it was a fad, and they sold out everywhere. So what I'm saying is I don't think the clientele there...
Yeah, no, I know what you're
really
saying.
knows a lot.
Because they've had... When I was there in December, they still had MBS. I bought those. They still have Karloff there.
Yeah, boxes.
Karloff, yeah, and then they have Pudgy Monsters in the bundles of Pudgy Monsters. I shouldn't be saying this because that's my honey hole.
Yeah, I'm about to say I was going to bring up all that too, but then I thought maybe not.
Yeah,
keep that
we're gonna edit that out.
Oh, hey, I'll add this though. They didn't have it, but the other location had the Hamlet and the Salmons, which is my dad's favorite cigar. But I didn't get any because they only had it at the southern location. They're not really hard to get. I just was throwing that out there.
I got to check out the other locations next time.
The amazing find was that Atelier sampler.
Oh, I should have bought that. It'll still be there.
Oh, yeah, I know. That was weird. I looked. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I could not believe that was sitting there.
I was trying to figure out what year it was because you couldn't read the date on it.
It's old. It was the first
Yeah.
year they were out. Affiliate came out.
I don't know. I've been on a buying. I gotta stop buying because I got to get rid of that humidor back there. I'm not bringing that down to Austin. So I want to get rid of all those cigars, or most of those cigars in there.
Why not? It'll fit in a U-Haul.
I'm going down lean. I'm just filling up my Buick Regal with shit. And then buying a bed, buying a pull-out couch for the living room, and then slowly adding shit.
That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, because
hat rack for your fedoras.
Yeah. Because like, let's say something happens and I don't like it or whatever, or I miss Milwaukee or whatever. The cool thing is I can transfer back to Milwaukee with Southwest after 6 months. So it's like, I'll know more after the 6 months. I mean, I know I'm going to like it. Because it's a great station at the airport. You know, it's a great airport, and you just don't know like what the work like. Stuff at Romacraft is gonna be great. It's just the stuff at the airport I might not. You know, it could be completely different than what I'm used to in Milwaukee, or it could be like Denver, which I didn't like at all when I worked in Denver. So, and it's a bigger station. Milwaukee, there's 100 people who do what I do, and then in Austin there's 150, and then they have 50 flights now. We have like 20, and then we were at 50 pre-COVID, and then they're probably at like 80 pre-COVID. So, you know, it depends on how I like the station, you know, because that's where I'll be spending most of my time. You know, I'll be working at Roma like 12 to 18 hours a week, and then Roma, the airport, like 40 to 48 hours a week. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll probably like it.
Let's say if you decide you do know this is like you're going to be here for a while, you can't come back and get your stuff and move it down a little bit at a time every time.
Yeah, because like I said before, like at my house, my mom moved into the basement, so the house is still the house I own is still gonna be here. So like my smoking room, I'm probably gonna move everything to my smoking room and then clear it because like I have an upstairs that has. So I turned the bedroom into a smoking room, and then upstairs has 2 bedrooms, a den, an office, and a big bathroom. So it's like, so.
Nice. Any last topics? I'm getting hungry.
No. It sucks this new schedule you have because I got to work at 4 a.m. So I got to get up at 3 a.m.
It's just through summer school, so we're probably not going to, well, I don't know if we're going to podcast in Vegas. I don't know if I'm going to take we're probably not going to have time. We'll just do it after one. So I have, including this week, 6 weeks of summer school. So it'll be over before you know it.
Dope.
Sweet. Ben, thanks for being on.
No problem, man. Anytime. It's always fun.
And then we'll see you at PCA, man.
Yeah.
You're our connection to the media house.
Yeah. We'll say y'all come on out, after that show. We're just going to be hanging out there. I mean, I'll text you when we get back to the house. I think we got one dinner with JC Newman, and I think we're all getting together one night for a quick dinner somewhere, but then we're basically just going to be at the house all the time.
Nice.
I mean, because a day after running around that trade show floor, man, I'm telling you, you're fucking tired.
Well,
you just want to go somewhere and chill.
You'll be pretty busy, and then me and him are working the patina booth, so we're going to be writing orders and shit.
Yep.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. We'll see if Dom survives. I might choke him out.
Why? I don't know why you think this.
Because I wanted to choke you out in Austin.
I didn't even hang out with you. I hung out by myself for like 8 hours the day of Weasel Fest.
Isn't that sad, Ben? He was hanging out by himself. All these new people.
Okay. That's it.
What?
It's over.
Is that because you were being a dick to him then?
Me? I am an asshole. I got a lot on my plate.
I was letting Tyler live his life. get accustomed to the working life at Roma headquarters. And I was in vacation mode. I wasn't trying to take pictures or videos.
Yes.
I was just sitting back.
Skip wanted me to enjoy Weasel Fest, but I don't think that memo got passed to Sean, John, Jamie, and Mike because they kept having me do shit. And then I was taking care of the ashtrays in the VIP area of the HQ. So, but
That's true. You were working your ass off there, man.
folding
All right.
towels. Oh, you got that video of me folding towels on the GoPro that Charlie took?
Yeah, sure do.
That was
I want to make
funny.
something with that.
Yeah, Charlie was quite the videographer.
Yeah, he was that day.
All right, guys.
Rock and roll.
Thank you, Ben.
No problem, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
take care.
All right, bye.
Yeah.